Hey everybody, I'm here today to talk to you about driving test preparation. In this video, I'll be going over 6 specific things that you can do to help you be better prepared, more prepared for your driving test, and hopefully give you an increased likelihood of passing it on your first try. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Number 1 is practice. Now, practicing is one of the most important things that you can do to help yourself prepare for the driving test. I like to break down practicing into 2 specific realms. The first realm is practicing skills individually. And by that, I mean to choose specific skills and practice them. Do drills on those specific skills. You want to practice every skill that you can think of. Parallel parking, forward parking, reverse parking, changing lanes to the right, changing lanes to the left, stopping at a stop sign, turning right and left at a stop sign, making a right at a red light, going through an intersection. Any skill that you can imagine, you want to practice. The second realm of practicing that I like to imagine is practicing in the sense of driving as a whole. And that means that literally just driving the vehicle. That's good enough practice in itself for this second realm. So you want to block off chunks of time, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, 2 hours, and you want to drive for those chunks of time in order to practice your driving skills. Practicing in those 2 different ways will really get you ready for the driving test. The second thing that you should do and that you can do is relax. What you want to do is completely relax yourself. Now, it's completely normal to feel anxious or nervous when you're going to be taking your driving test, but you want to reduce those feelings as much as possible. So just absolutely relax. Do whatever it takes for you to relax. And one of the best things that you can do in order to relax is number 1, practice. Because the more that you practice, the better of a driver that you'll be, the more confident that you'll be as a driver. And when you're a confident driver, then you're going to be confident for the driving test, and that's going to reduce those skills of anxiety and nervousness. Number 3, sleep. You want to make sure that you're getting enough sleep. Now, not only do you want to get enough sleep the day before, the night before the driving test, but you also want to get enough sleep the nights leading up to the driving test. And that's because when you deprive yourself of sleep, it's not like you can just sleep for one night and all of a sudden you gain, that feeling of being awake back. You need to have a good night's sleep for a few nights in a row in order for your brain to be operating at its absolute peak. And you want your brain to be at its peak performance for the driving test because you want to be able to react and get those driving skills to show so that the examiner can see them. So with that being said, make sure that you get a good night's sleep the night before the test, and also make sure that you're getting a good night's sleep a few nights leading up to the driving test. And if you're ever in doubt, just go to sleep an hour earlier than you regularly would go to sleep. And that's going to give you some extra hours of rest, relaxation, and sleep, which is going to be great for your driving test. Number 4, the 4th thing that you should do is study. Now, practicing, in my opinion, is practicing in the car in specific situations that involve you actually driving the car. Studying is sort of a different way to actually get ready for the driving test, and that involves actually studying. It involves watching video tutorials of driving lessons and driving related videos, just like you're doing right now. It involves reading about driving related skills and looking up things like the road signs and what you should do in specific driving situations. It involves practicing in any way other than actually being in the car. So you want to make sure that you're studying. Study, practice, practice. Number 5, what you want to do is you want to prepare for every situation. Now, you'll encounter very similar situations pretty much every time that you drive, but then once in a while you're going to get an odd situation that doesn't regularly happen. Things like you being caught in the middle of an intersection, or things like an emergency vehicle approaching from the right when you're in the path of that emergency vehicle and you're in congested traffic. What do you do then? So with that being said, you want to think about all of these situations that you don't regularly encounter and just think, what would I do in that situation? This way, if you actually happen to by chance encounter them while you're taking the driving test, you're going to be ready. You're going to be prepared to react because you're going to know exactly what you should be doing in that situation because you've gone over it in your mind over and over and over before you actually took the driving test. Last but not least, the sixth thing that you should do is check your car. I cannot emphasize this enough. Figure out what car you're going to be using for your driving test and check the car. Make sure that everything works on the car. Make sure that everything is operational. Make sure that there's no major problems that are going to affect your ability to actually take the driving test or pass the driving test. Because what you don't want to happen is you go to the driving test and all of a sudden something doesn't work on your car and then you either can't take the driving test at all that day, and that preparation, and that feeling, you don't want to have to reschedule it because then all those feelings have to come back again. But you might either not be able to take the test or it might affect your ability to pass the test if you're still able to take the test. So with that being said, make sure that you check the car in any way possible before the test to make sure that it's good to go for the test. And that's basically it. In this video, I've gone over driving test preparation. I've gone over 6 specific things that you should do to prepare yourself for the driving test so that you have a better chance at passing the driving test. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.